Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Montreal, Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Let's dive into a story that has been buzzing around the Canadiens fanbase lately, and honestly, it's one that could have significant implications for the team's future. We're talking about Pavel Zacha, the talented forward from the Boston Bruins, and how his potential move to Montreal could be a game-changer. It's not just speculation. It's a scenario that many fans are already envisioning as a way for the Canadiens to bolster their roster without necessarily breaking the bank or relying on big-name acquisitions like Nazem Kadri. And let's be real, Zacha's profile as a player fits perfectly into what the Canadiens are looking for as they rebuild and aim for that playoff push in the coming seasons. First, let's talk about what makes Pavel Zacha such an intriguing player for Montreal. At 28 years old, he's got a good amount of experience under his belt, with 342 points scored in 628 games, which is nothing to ignore. His stats include 125 goals and 217 assists, numbers that show he's capable of both finishing plays and setting up his teammates. But what really catches the eye is his physical presence. We're talking about a guy who weighs 206 pounds, and for a player of his age and size, he can bring a level of grit and physicality that the Canadiens could definitely use, especially considering their recent emphasis on building a more balanced, tough team that can compete in the rough and tumble of the NHL. Now, imagine him slotting into the second line, playing alongside young talents like Ivan Demidov and Zach Bolduc. This line could be a real force. If you think about it, this could be a scenario where the Canadiens are taking a smart, cost-effective approach to their roster upgrade, using a proven veteran like Zacha, who can contribute both offensively and defensively, with some of their promising youngsters. This would also free up some cap space and assets that might be otherwise spent on acquiring a more expensive player like Kadri. It's a strategic move, one that aligns with Montreal's current rebuilding phase, where developing homegrown talent and adding experienced pieces are both priorities. And let's not forget, this kind of line, young players with a veteran presence, could be exactly what the Canadiens need to accelerate their development. It's about creating a chemistry that can produce results now, while also grooming these young guys for the future. Zacha's versatility makes him a perfect fit for this role. His ability to make plays for his teammates is something that really stands out. He's not just a scorer, he's a playmaker, and that's a trait that complements the style of Demidov and Bolduc. These guys are still early in their careers, but with a player like Zacha anchoring the line, they'd have a real shot at making that leap to becoming consistent NHL contributors. Now, when we talk about Zacha's gameplay, one thing that comes up often is his speed. This isn't just a player who's solid in the corners or on the boards. His skating ability adds a new dimension to the Canadiens' attack. Speed kills in today's NHL, and Zacha's ability to accelerate quickly and transition the puck up the ice makes him a real threat on the rush. It's not just about scoring goals. It's about creating scoring chances, pressuring opponents, and being a reliable player on the penalty kill. Think about it. His knack for scoring shorthanded goals or bailing out his team during penalty kills could be invaluable for Montreal as they look to tighten up their special teams. His defensive awareness is also quite solid. Zacha's ability to read the play and make smart decisions in critical moments suggests he could thrive in a system where he's given more responsibility. The Canadiens are in a phase where they're trying to improve defensively, and a player with his size, speed, and hockey IQ can be a real asset. Imagine him playing a key role in killing penalties, while also contributing offensively when his team is at even strength or on the power play. And this brings us to an important point: the fit. Montreal's management has been clear about wanting players who can adapt quickly and make an impact without necessarily costing a fortune. Zacha's profile as a player who can be versatile and reliable at a reasonable price point makes him an attractive target. Plus, with the 2026 NHL trade deadline approaching, the Canadiens are already positioning themselves to make moves that could define their future. Whether it's a trade, a signing, or a strategic shift, every decision they make now is aimed at building a team that can contend in the playoffs and hopefully chase that elusive Stanley Cup. Looking at the bigger picture, this move, if it happens, could also send a message to the rest of the league. Montreal is serious about competing, and they're willing to be strategic with their assets. Zacha could be the kind of piece that helps them bridge the gap between their current rebuild and a more competitive team that can challenge the division rivals like the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Florida Panthers. It's about creating a balanced roster with a good mix of youth and experience, and Zacha's skill set fits perfectly into that puzzle. Now, I know many fans are already excited about the idea. Some see it as a low-cost, high-reward move. Others see it as a way to give the team more depth and flexibility. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I believe Zacha could be a perfect fit for Montreal. He's not a flashy superstar, but he's a reliable, hardworking player who can make a difference in many ways, whether it's scoring crucial goals, setting up plays, or playing shutdown minutes. And in the context of a team that's still developing chemistry, having someone like him can be a real catalyst. Of course, it's all speculation at this point, and the Canadiens' management will have a lot of factors to consider. Will they prioritize cap space, asset retention, or a different player profile? But if they do decide to pursue Zacha, it could be a move that pays dividends down the line, especially as the team aims to rise in the standings and make a serious push for the playoffs. The next couple of months will be critical, and fans should keep an eye on how Montreal's front office approaches their roster construction. And before we wrap up, remember, this isn't just about one player. It's about the bigger picture, building a team that can compete for the Stanley Cup, that has the grit, skill, and speed to match the best in the league. Montreal has been working hard to find that balance, and moves like this, if they happen, could be the key to turning things around sooner rather than later. So stay tuned, because the Canadiens are in a fascinating phase right now, full of potential and opportunity. And honestly, as a fan, there's nothing more exciting than watching your team grow, make bold moves, and chase that ultimate goal of bringing the Stanley Cup back to Montreal. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move for Pavel Zacha? Do you think he's the kind of player that can help the team take that next step? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him in a Canadiens uniform, playing alongside Demidov and Bolduc? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Montreal Canadiens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news. We're in this together, and every step forward is a step closer to that Stanley Cup dream. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Canadiens!